Hello.
Hello, sir.
Joseph sir, you are there.
Yes, sir. I have joined.
Okay, I could not locate. So I was just wondering where you are. Just
Yes, sir.
wait. Just wait for a moment.
No problem.
You are listening my voice clearly, na?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Sir, we'll just wait for few minutes.
No problem, sir.
Hello, sir. We are facing with YouTube streaming. Just wait for a moment. We'll start. Eh?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Goa University, for giving me this opportunity. I'm sharing my screen. Please let me know if you can see the screen. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I will make this quick. The reason why this topic is closed, like why the opportunities for early entrepreneurs, for students and faculties. While I started my company, uh, one of my professors actually joined my startup. So like I know the advantages and the disadvantages while you work with a faculty, and the challenges and the opportunities you have while you're doing that. So I am breaking this presentation down to three chapters. One is like pre-incubation, uh, and one is incubation, and third one is the opportunities, like the schemes and the activities which you can associate with if you have an idea, or if you want to be an entrepreneur, or if you want to choose that as a career option. And for the faculties also, like how you can associate with students, or what are things you can do being in an academic setup. So that's the idea. Like even though in the tag, the topic, it's mentioned acceleration or accelerator. After I explain this entire thing, you will understand where does this whole accelerator piece fits in this whole journey of entrepreneurship. Okay. So the reason why I wanted to start with pre-incubation, incubation, that flow is because you should understand where do you stand. Say, assuming you have an idea, or if you want to apply for a scheme to get some funding from government schemes, or getting funding from some private parties and all, you should have an idea, like, or you should be able to contemplate. Basically, you should be able to contemplate whether you are ready to actually go for a funding or not. So this is basically a hygiene check kind of thing, uh, where you should be able to tell, okay, I made sure this many things are done before I am actually going and seeking support from someone else. And this is pretty easy. There is nothing difficult here. Even if you are sitting at home, from your college, you can do all those basic things, so that when you go and present, you will be way ahead than your competition, because you did some basic things. If not, this is a litmus test for you to understand the idea you think. You might be thinking it's $1 billion idea. The question is like, how do you validate that, right? Whether this can actually work or not before you actually build the product, or before you actually raise funds. So so what is pre-incubation? So basically, this is a 3 to 6 months period, which if you have a normal idea, like when I say normal, I'm not talking about any research-oriented ideas where there is a deep tech involved or biotechnology involved. So, but basic ideas where there's an app involved or a website involved, as not that high-end kind of tech involved, you can do that in 3 to 6 months. And how can you do that, right? So it's basically two activities: primary and secondary research, which normally when you do a any studies, when you normally do, it's the right primary and secondary. Secondary is nothing but you googling it. Say if you have an idea and you think that this is great idea, and I don't think anyone got this idea. So what you have to do is like you just Google it, because most of the time this idea, what you're thinking, someone might have thought through that before, and it might be already there. If it's already there, don't feel disheartened. It's actually a good thing. Why? Because if there is a very evident idea, and if it's not there, there might be some reason why people are not doing it. So if there is a competition, don't see it as a bad thing. If there is a competition, you always think, oh, this is great, uh, someone also trying to do this, so there will be a lot of learnings from that founder also. So once you have the secondary data, like who are the competition, who are the set of people who are doing it, and you just read through some reports, whether this market is big enough or not, because you might be solving a problem, or you are trying to start a startup, but the customers are 100 people, then that means something is wrong, right? Like you can't be sustainable. You might be able to serve 100 people, but you can't grow. So you should always look if there are like a billions of users, there's a potential, or at least, we have 1.3, 1.4 billion people in the country. So whether it can be served for the entire country. Please don't try to make something very specific to Goa, because the audience is very small. So the advantage is that since the audience is small, while you're building, day one, always think India as a market, or globally as a market. So that's how you scale. So you always should understand whether there is a market potential. For that, you have to read through market research reports based on the topic you are. It can be e-commerce, or maybe it's clean tech. It can be waste management, or financial related, fintech, agriculture related, agri-tech. So it can be anything. But the point is, like, first you have to do a very basic Google search, and everything is in Google, by the way. So just do a Google search and make sure that you are there to proceed. So once you're convinced, okay, there is a potential for this after Googling, second thing is like you actually talking to your potential customers. Because what we normally see as a trend, people first build a product, especially hardware, prototyping and all. First they build it as a project. They think that, okay, this is something people need. After they building it, then they go and try to see if people actually will buy this or not. So that is the difference between a project and a product. Basically, while you are building a product, day one, you should be in touch with your customers. You should be talking to your customers. You should understand their pain points. You should understand if this is a vitamin or a painkiller, basically, whatever you're building. Vitamin is like a good to have thing. Painkiller is you're actually solving someone's pain point, right? So always try to understand what you're building. This small activities, talking to your customers, which is a primary research with a set of questions and all those things, and a secondary research which you do in Google. It's other way around. Start with secondary, then primary. You'll have a basic idea whether you really want to take it forward. You might tweak your idea based on your customers' feedback. The best part of doing that is like while you actually launch your product, if you have spoken to 30 to 50 potential customers by that time, and they are very much excited, they're waiting for you to actually bring the product, you have ready-made 30 to 50 customers day one. So that is why it's important, if you have an idea, you should talk to your customers first, and that's the priority. There might people say that customers might not know what they want and all those things, but that is, I can say, top 5% kind of ideas. Rest are kind of a spin-off kind of ideas which is already there, but we are solving it in a better way, much more efficient way or cost-effective way, whatever it may be. So that is pre-incubation. Basically, this is the time you should spend to, before you take money or before you think pursuing this idea, spend 3 to 6 months, because this is going to save another 5 to 10 years. I know a lot of startups who spend 6 years, 7 years with an idea, but they're like literally like zombies, dead man walking, right? They're not understanding that their business is dead, but since they spent 4 or 5 years, they are dragging it again. So this 3 to 6 months, don't think it's a wastage. So, and it's very important that you spend this time before you actually get into what you call this whole entrepreneurship game. So that's the one framework. I hope you guys already know this. So I thought of just, if not, I just wanted to just briefly mention. It's called business model canvas. This is what normally startups use. I will explain it with an example. So I hope you all have Netflix account, how that works and everything. So basically, this is their business model canvas. When you actually do business, like this is a simplified version, but there are 9 elements you need to take care of. And I will tell you how to read this, right? If you might have seen the number 1, the customer segments. So basically, the customer segments is like who are your customers? Like you have to be very specific. But for example, if someone is saying mass market, again, there will be some bifurcations, some age between 30 to 30, 40. That's the kind of people we are targeting and all those things, right? So I don't want to explain this entire thing, because our topic is not to do with business model canvas. This is the entire session altogether. But to give a brief, you should understand who are your customers. And the second is like the value proposition, like what are you actually offering to them your on-demand videos or original content kind of things, which is different from your competitors or other people. The third point is channels. Like, how are you bringing that value to the customers? So that's through your app, website, and all those things. And the customer relationships is basically how you interact with your customers. For Netflix, it's a self-service platform. You chat or you text or you do it through raising tickets or emails. But if some other companies, if it's a hardware company, you have to send them, their team member to look if there is any malfunction or to change some hardware parts and all those things. So this is not to, I'm not trying to educate what this business model canvas is. This, what I'm trying to tell is, like, you have to think through all these elements before actually, you try to get into this whole incubation, space in incubators or thinking entrepreneurship as a career. So like the revenue streams, you need to define what are your revenue streams. And so that is so you start with right side, these 5 elements, then you go to the left side where 6 is like key resources. Like key resources are like if you have an IP or patent or trademark, or you have an office space, or you have a lot of inventory. So that's your resource, or the team's the uniqueness of the team, the expertise of the team. You can count all those things as key resources. And key activities is basically whatever key resources you have, how are you actually going to deliver it? What are the activities you do to make sure this is getting to the customers? Key partners, like you can't do anything by your own, right? While you start a company, you need a CA to register your company. You need, you have to pay taxes, or if you want to host a website, you might need a cloud credits. So you need a lot of, partners with you to actually, while you are doing this. So you always list what are the kind of support I need, or you put an incubator because they help them with the mentorship, investments, getting a space, and all those things. So all those things comes under key partners. And doing all those things, these 3 elements, 6, 7, and 8, you understand these are like cost incurring things. So you should mention what's the cost to do all those things. So if you look at this one page, you have basically a clarity on how the potential of the business can be. This is a litmus test. If you thought through all these elements, then if you go anywhere for any of your competitions or applying for grants and everything, you have a better chance to get that. The opportunities will open up better if you have this kind of understanding. This is not difficult. That's the point. This is easy. You Google it, YouTube, you watched a couple of videos to get a hang of it. And if you have any doubts, you can reach out to us also. But the point is, you should do this before you actually pursuing your idea by investing money, or investing time or energy and everything, right? Because there's a career looking at you versus you have an idea. So what to pursue, right? Basically. So that is the pre-incubation stage. Once you're convinced, once the incubator is convinced, or once the people who are trying to support you are convinced, this is the second phase. So for us, incubation is basically, if you're coming to Fire as an incubator, what we do is like we'll allow you to, dabble that idea for another month at Fire before we actually onboard you. What we do is like, why don't you come down, talk to our mentors, talk to the founders out there, use our space, to sit and work and all those things. So basically we help with all those elements. This is like an exoskeleton. Like you just come here, everything else is provided. So consider yourself as an egg, right? After 21 days of incubation period in poultry, like basically you come out as a chick. So like that, this 21 days period that's how we see ourselves. You come with an idea, and we'll make sure that you have a product while you are leaving. And the reason why we want you to leave is because incubator can hold only a small team. So we assume that you become successful and you have more team members. So you go out and raise more funding, and then you have a bigger team and all those things. So that is with the incubation. So when it comes to, I'm like just, I'm not going in depth and everything. I'm happy to answer your questions after this session. That would be much more useful, I feel, because these are very generic things. But I have to tell these 2 points because if you look at now the pre-incubation, incubation, now you know these 2 phases, right? First phase is like you figuring out what to do, and incubation is a point where you actually built something from idea which you are convinced to a prototype, and you have 1 or 2 early customers. So that is where you know that okay, this is working. Then you get to a point where you can't stop all the calls, messages, and everything coming to you because too much of demand. A lot of people are reaching out to you for your solution. That is the point you called as a product market fit. So that's the point where you know that okay, we are doing something right, and we found a set of customers, a huge customer base who really wants this solution because of all the groundwork we did earlier during pre-incubation and incubation phase. We realized okay, now we have a very solid product. Now let's scale it up. So while you are scaling it up, normally it takes we say 18 months to scale big. But at that point we have some programs called accelerator programs. That is like in the poster is mentioned by accelerator. It's basically instead of taking that 18 months journey to get a lot of customers once you figure out your product, through this program, it's a very specific program based on your idea, whether their thesis also aligns. Then within 3 to 4 months, whatever you would have achieved in 18 months can be achieved during that 3-4 months because of the network they have. And they also invest in the startup, and they open up their contacts for mentorship and all those things. So that is the accelerator. So pre-incubation, incubation, accelerator. This is the what you call the journey of a startup through the incubation lens, basically. So assuming you are doing all those things right, the question is like, these are great, these are good gyan kind of thing. So this is where I would like to take a little bit more time on this one slide. It looks simple, but this one slide, and this is the crux of this whole presentation or the whole session. So even if you don't remember any of the other slides, I would like you to focus on this opportunities part, so that while you are building something, you know what you can look for in terms of support system, right? So Nidhi EAR, this is FIRE is a Nidhi TBI funded by Department of Science and Technology. So Nidhi EAR is like Entrepreneur in Residence program. So this is for students who pass out from college. So instead of pursuing a career in some IT companies or some other companies, if you have an idea, through this program, you can get 30,000 rupees per month for a year. So it will take care of your basic needs. You don't have to repay this fund or anything. It's just that you need to have some promising idea so that you can be part of this program. Then Nidhi Prayas is something like you get 10 lakhs rupees if your idea is a hardware prototyping idea. Okay, so if you have an idea where there is a hardware prototyping is involved, you can use this 10 lakhs over a period of this 1 year, and you can build that. So you don't have to put that fund from your pocket, but there is a government scheme to do that. Say assuming Nidhi EAR, Nidhi Prayas, you are eligible and you took that money and you built what you wanted to build. Then like to scale it up, you might need some say 30 lakhs to 50 lakhs kind of amount. Then we have this Startup India Seed Fund scheme. So we have a 3 crores of fund under Startup India Seed Fund scheme, which can be given to startups. So we already invested in 16 startups using that fund. So these are the 3 what you call initiatives we have to monetarily beneficial for the entrepreneurs. So what are the other opportunities you should look for while you have ideas? Like there are a lot of grants given by state government for ideation and all those things, right? So some 7 lakhs, 10 lakhs. So based on the state, it will vary, but there are schemes now. Like say for example, Department of Science and Technology, I think they have some 3 lakhs for research related ideas also. Now, if it's a next thing is like, see, there are a lot of hackathons happening in the country. So you see if your idea is aligning to those hackathons. Now there is a handloom challenge which is going on. One agri-tech challenge is going on. So if you look at Startup India website, you can see a lot of programs. The question is like, it's not like you build an idea when a hackathon comes there, like that's also fine. But the point is like, if you have an idea, see if that fits into any of these hackathon programs, then you go and participate. So you will get a lot of exposure. You will be able to validate your idea because a lot of other people will give you inputs and all. So that will be really useful. But and there are good programs where you get prize money also.
तो हमरे खो खेळवाका कितें तो कितें इंग्लंडाला कितें खेळवाक तो इंटरनॅशनल खेळवाक
ती इतली सर्टिफिकेट इतल्यो
Okay.
काम दे दिस मध्ये
I think yeah. I think he's in a very serious discussion. Anyways, then this hackathons, right? I would stress on it because being a student, that is the first program, or that's the best program to explore to start with, because a lot of things. This is a for me. You might not build a product out of hackathon day because it's a 2 days kind of program, but you are the radar. Like you will get access to the corporate, so you'll access to a lot of experts and mentors kind of people. For that matter, even governments also do a lot of hackathons. So like if they think this is a good idea, they will support further. That's a good validation. During your pre-incubation validation time, hackathons are the best place to be in. Like there is an organization called Techstars. They do these hackathons in India. So those are programs which gives you a global exposure also. So always look for hackathons if you are a student who is studying. Then this innovation competitions, it's not necessarily hackathons, but corporates actually put out problem statements. All these Qualcomms or Intels, those kind or ITCs in the world, big companies, they have a lot of problems to be solved, and they use CSR funding to actually corporate social responsibility, CSR. So CSR funding is basically to actually fund these kind of initiatives where there is a social impact angle involved, kind of thing. So the next piece is interesting for faculties also, transfer of technologies. So this is basically, we normally say all these US universities kind of thing, right? Now after a decade, at that time we don't have that much references because entrepreneurship was not that cool 10 years back. But now what we are seeing is like there are a lot of professors who are really good with R&D, really good. They have patents or IPs kind of things when it comes to their own research, right? If they are not keen to actually get into business, what they can do is like they can find a student who got really good business acumen to be part of the team as a co-founder, and you take as a faculty, you take a minority stake because most of the grand work is going to be done by the founder who is on ground. But you can focus on what you like to do, the research part, and the student, alumni, or whoever is associated with you can go and sell the product. So it will be a very deadly combo. Why? Because you have already seen your faculty for 4 years or 3 years as a student, and as a faculty you also know him as a student, and that rapport is built. So okay, if I can tolerate him for 3-4 years, I can run a company with him. Like there are a lot of models here. Like there are universities where the IP belongs to the university, say, and they ask like 3% of the company's stake. Even universities ask that based on the labs, based on the technology they provide, and all those things. So there are multiple models. There is nothing like you can't you can't work it out. But this is a great model where you have an IP. If there is a commercialization angle to it, Normally there are TTO offices, transfer technology offices are there, where you can submit your patent and someone can pick it up and run with it, kind of things. But that is a very typical model. Whatever model I'm talking about is different. Like you finding a co-founder from college, that's the best thing to do. And experimenting during college days is again a best thing to do, because there is a fallback kind of thing. You can go full on and experiment with all crazy ideas. But yeah, that's basically a bunch of opportunities when it comes to funding. I don't think funding will be a challenge. Why I'm saying is because if you think your idea is good, if you have done the things which I talked about, the primary, secondary research, talking to your customers, having a business model canvas. If you feel business model canvas is tough, the next option is you having a 30, 40 page big business plans, which people normally used to make to get loans from banks. So compared to that, this is much, much, much easier. And it gives a clarity also in one shot. As a dashboard, you can see how strong your business is, whether you thought through or not. If you've done those kind of things, it will be much easier for you to go raise funds from all these government grant schemes and all those things, right? Then one more category which we call FFF, right? Friends, family, and fools. That's a kind of first set of people who invest in an idea, or the money you get first set, which even they know that you might not get back. So always take that, because never dilute your company's stake share unless you're very, very much convinced. Because why I'm telling this, because we see a lot of really good startups, but early stage only they have given some 20-25 percentage. By the time they have kind of raised maybe 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. But the issue is, like, if they want to grow up beyond that, you have to dilute more percentage of your company, which means at some point you will lose out your ownership of your company, and investors can take calls and they can vote you out and all those things. So always go for soft loans, debt funding, this, that, people friends families, and of course the so-called angel investors or fools. But they know that out of 10 they are investing, only 1 or 2 will be successful, 8 will be a failure, but that's okay. You convince those people and make sure that the initial fund is taken care, so that once you are ready with your product, you can go full on and get the funding. I just wanted to, this is basically the presentation. I just want to tell, how FIRE can help you if you have an idea that fits into our mandate, basically. So Goa being an ecosystem where tourism is heavily focused, as an incubator, we also have a focus on tourism tech startups. So if you have a solution, when I say tourism tech, please don't get me wrong. This is not just travel and hospitality. It can be anything, but the only mandate or litmus test is one thing: whether your solution actually improves the experience of life in Goa. If yes, then that means it's a tourism tech startup, because the challenges in a tourism ecosystem is different from metro cities or other rural areas. So since if you understand the ecosystem well, if you have a solution that can improve tourism in the state for better, then we can consider you as a tourism tech startup. And our focus is that we help startups. We have a lot of good mentors. We have investors with us. Even the market access. If you validate the idea, if you want to do a pilot with the departments and with hospitality and travel organizations, we would be able to help you with that. So it's been only 1.5 years we started this. We started during COVID time because we saw a lot of business went out during the COVID time. Tourism is one of the first and one of the worst hit industries. Kind of 2,000 to 7,200 crores is the estimated loss for in tourism sector in Goa in 2020. So that's a huge number. So unless and until we adopt technological solutions along with what we do good here, it will be difficult to survive one more black swan, like a pandemic kind of thing again. So that actually helped us. A lot of stakeholders reached out to us also, telling if you have any solutions, whether there's a technology element to it, which can improve our company, our organization's efficiency in travel and hospitality space. So that's a brief about FIRE. So if you or any of your friends or your relatives thinking about to do something in tourism plus there's a technology element to it as a startup, you know where to come. We are more than happy to help you with that. Thank you. That's all from my side. I am happy to answer any questions. We can make it as an interactive one than me presenting a lot. I think we have a few more minutes to have this conversation. And thanks again for this opportunity.
Participants, please ask the question.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Sure.
Thank you, sir. Very nice lecture. I wanted to ask a few things
Sure.
regarding government support for entrepreneurship program.
Mhm.
What is the structure and how to approach to the government for getting support for your startup or for innovation?
Correct.
Incubation.
So, see, there are call for applications always there with.
Hello.
Am I audible? Hello. I assume I am audible. Am I? Am I audible, Sandeep sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, when it comes to schemes, right? Basically, for state government, there are like startup grants are there, which you can apply. Now they are streamlining it. In another month or so, I think that will be live again. So basically, those are grants up to 10 lakhs. There are 3-4 startups out of FIRE also got that grant, which was given. It was announced during 2018-19 that time period, but got delayed here and there. But recently they got the fund. There is a startup promotion cell is the currently it is known as startup promotion cell. You can check that, or the next one is like I will put that in the chat only. There is a, you might already know, there's a know your scheme. You might have seen. I am putting that link in the group. There also government actually mentioning all the schemes basically which are available with the Goa government, and you can see that in the chat. Based on your based on your idea, like if there is no technology involved, right, then there are a lot of MSME schemes also. Like there are like state government where you only 3.5% interest rate kind of soft loans are also there, which is way lesser than banks. And if you want to do something like, there's a program called One District One Product, ODOP. There are a lot of schemes to help entrepreneurs on that front also. So there are a lot of schemes like that. The link which I shared, know your scheme, that will help you to understand what specifically the kind of schemes are there. And we have a MSME wing also with us to help with proposals. So if you are writing a business proposal for banks and all those things. So if you have any help needed on that front also, happy to connect. I have a question. Like I assume you guys are audible. Yeah. So my question is like anyone working on any ideas at this moment? Anyone pursuing any ideas? It can be business, startup. Okay. Let me rephrase. Another question. Anyone planning to get into entrepreneurship as a career option? Am I audible? Or no one is planning to look into entrepreneurship as a career option?
Yes, sir. I am.
Hi, Anup.
Hi. Hello, sir.
Yes. Anup, please tell me. Thank you. Thank you for responding. But please tell me, like, what's your mind? What's in your mind at this moment?
Like, sir, I'm trying to work on a biomedical device.
Okay.
This is, I'm right now going through some, like, I'm looking for IPR related works with that. And
Okay.
I'm also touch with some attorneys and all.
Okay.
And right now I'm looking for funding because I am not able to even mm, I'm not able to pitch right now in front of the investors, and
Okay.
also like I feel like I need more ways for funding right now, so that I can at least accelerate the process of like IPRs, and then like also I can meet the ugly prototype and test it into the market. So this
Right.
is what my right
Right.
now is.
I know, like, I can guide you with a couple of things. One is like, Goa State Innovation Council.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So they actually help you with this IPR, and they even reimburse also the whatever amount you spend on IPR filing. Once it's granted, you will get the amount back. So I would strongly urge you to have a word with the Goa State Innovation Council team to help you with that. One. Second thing is like BITS Goa got a biotechnology incubator. So you should definitely explore BITS Goa also, because they have labs, they have an incubator specifically focused on. I'm not sure whether you're aware of it, but these are the two places you should start with. And this Goa State Innovation Council is in at Fire only in Madgaon, South Goa. Whenever you come there, we can also have a chat.
Okay. Okay, sir. How can I reach out to you, sir?
Okay, so what I'm do is like I will share my email ID and mobile number in the chat only. So you can share a brief, then we can set up a call and we can have a conversation.
Okay. Okay. Sir, if you have your LinkedIn ID, kindly share with us, sir.
Sure. You have any more question? Anything you want to know apart from this?
Looking at India level, sir, like where I can reach out. Like I'm from right now from the Northeast region, like I'm situated there, sir. So is there anything which like at India level, like Startup India, or like anything which can help me with
Even
this?
Northeast also, Assam and all, there are biotech incubators. You ping me, I will connect you to the couple of my friends only working out of that place. I'll connect you to those incubators in Assam. And yeah, go through them, then it will be easier for you to get funding than actually, you know, doing it by your own.
Sir,
You,
last one more question, sir. Sir,
yes.
how can I know about the nuances like IPR and all these things are separate. Like I'll not be talking about that. The nuances of like setting up the place for my device. Like if I need some resourceful person, or like even if I need something on documented part, sir.
Hmm.
So how to avoid mistakes, and which kind of resources should I follow? Like even if I go for like registering as a company or whatever it is, sir. So I want a clear direction that Anup, this things has to be done. These things are the right ways, and if you do it on a partnership basis or equity basis, this can be a wrong, sir. So these are also one of the nuances which I am looking up to, sir.
Yeah.
So could you guide me or throw some light on this part, sir?
So yeah, basically, whatever we presented today, right? Being an incubator, our job is to do that, help you to find you the right team members, right mentors to guide you, right legal team to support you, and all those things. So I would suggest you to work with an incubator. Since it's a biotech idea, you search for BIRAC related incubators. So it's a scheme. So any incubators under BIRAC scheme fits into your biotechnology. You might not have to set up your own office or your own workspace. Through these incubators, you can use shared equipments. Equipments will be already the high-end ones. You don't need to purchase it for yourself. You can use it, which is already there. So that you will save a lot of money, a lot of funding, a lot of amount you're going to otherwise waste by having it your own. Or there are options like a maker spaces, right? These hardware prototyping labs. Find something like that close by, and they only charge as per your usage, maybe hourly or say for example 3D printing. They use they charge you for the material you use. I'm not talking about services, but I'm talking about this kind of incubators or initiatives where if it's a not for profit. All the incubators associated with the universities are not for profit. So look out for that. I can help you based on your location. You can bring me in person.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I got it, sir.
All the best. Thank you, Sandeep sir. Thank you, Goa University, and
Thank you, sir. And sir, we will be visiting you on 27th Saturday.
looking forward, sir. Looking forward. Happy to host you all here.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Thanks. Looking forward, sir. Looking forward to host you all here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye bye, everyone.